Trevor Lawrence will break the team's most passing yards in a season, currently held by Blake Bortles with 4,428 in 2015. Mark. All right, welcome to Justice Stats NFL, the show that covers the NFL statistical leaders from the all-time greats to the current players leading the NFL. I'm Ernie Jennings, your host. Now, in this episode, we are going to race through every team in the NFL, and I'm going to list one record that I think could be broken by each NFL team. So, since there's 32 teams, this is going to go quick. Not a lot of background or anything like that, just kind of right into each player and what the record is, and then we'll move on to the next team. We'll do this alphabetical. All right, so let's get started with this episode of Just the Stats NFL. The first team, Arizona Cardinals. Calais Campbell, tackles for loss, trying to set the NFL record. Right now, Terrell Suggs has 202, J.J. Watt has 195, and Calais Campbell has 187. So he needs 15 to tie, 16 to pass and set the record. Now, there's 3 times that he's had more than 15 in a season, so it's possible, but he is on the end of his career, so it's not that likely. So what I'm going to do is put his chances at 20% for this record that he breaks it. All right, next one, Atlanta Falcons. Bijan Robinson. He's going for the team rushing TDs in a season. Currently, Michael Turner in 2008 had 17, and Jamal Anderson in 1998 and Bijan Robinson last year in 2024 both had 14. So it's reasonably within range for him. I give him a 25% chance to break the record, a little bit higher to tie the record of 17. Next one, Baltimore Ravens. Mark Andrews going for the team most receiving yards in a career for the team. This is a tight end now, remember. So currently, Derek Mason, as a wide receiver, has 5,777 yards from 2005 to 2010. Mark Andrews, as a tight end, has 5,530 yards. He's been on the team since 2018. Now, Todd Heap is tight end he passed last year to set the all-time tight end record, receiving records. So he needs 248 yards to pass Derek Mason. I do not see this as a problem. Now, all these records I'm talking about, obviously, we're looking at no injuries or very little injuries. Any of these can be stopped immediately by a serious injury, but we're just basing this on the fact that if they can play a whole season, they can get the record. Now, I'm setting this record for Mark Andrews at 100%. I definitely think he's going to get 248 yards, whether he's the main tight end or not. And right now, it's looking like he's pretty good for it, with likely being hurt. Next one, Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is going for the NFL record. NFL record. We only have a couple of these. Calais Campbell, now Josh Allen. NFL record, most rushing TDs by a quarterback. Currently, Cam Newton holds the record with 75 from 2011 to 2021. Josh Allen is second with 65 from 2018 to the present. Now, the last 2 years, he's had 15 and 12. So he only needs 11 to pass him. So I give him a pretty good chance on this one. Now, the previous 5 years before these last 2 years, he averaged under 8 touchdowns a season. So between the last couple of years and the previous 5 years, it kind of brings the average down. But I'm giving him a good shot at this at 65% to set this NFL record. Now, the interesting quick fact on that, Jalen Hurts is right behind him with 55, but he's been in the league 2 years less than Josh Allen. So we'll see how that goes. Next up, Carolina Panthers. Now, this was a tough team to find. Some of these teams, it's hard to find a record that you think somebody can break. But this one, I'm going to go with Tedero McMillan, the rookie wide receiver for the team. He's going to go for breaking the team most receptions by a rookie record. That was set by Christian McCaffrey, a running back actually, with 80 receptions in 2017. Kelvin Benjamin, as a wide receiver, had 73 in 2014. So McMillan was picked number 8 in the first round of the draft. And the other starting wide receivers on that team are Thielen and Leggett. I seriously think McMillan's going to step right in, be the top wide receiver for the team, and I'm going to shoot that he can get I'm going to give him a 50% chance that he breaks Christian McCaffrey's record of 80 receptions. It's not an outstanding, it's not a way out there total, so I think it's possible. Chicago Bears next up. Caleb Williams will set the team most passing yards in a season, which is not high. This is where they talked about quarterbacks go here to die. Number one, Eric Kramer had 3,838 yards in 1995. I don't think there's another team where the leading quarterback on the team has less than 4,000 yards. But Eric Kramer is first. Jay Cutler is second with 3,812 yards in 2014. Now, despite the really rough and not so good season that Caleb Williams had last year, he looked he didn't look good at all, really. Sacked so many times, 68 times in a season. Um, Caleb Williams still had 3,541 yards, so less than 300 yards away from the all-time record. I think with Ben Johnson as his new coach, offensive guru, Caleb has nowhere to go but up, and I definitely think he has a chance to set this record. I'm putting his chances at 75%. Next up, Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow will set the team most passing yards in a season record, which he actually holds. Joe Burrow last season in 2024 had 4,918 yards. I give him a 50% chance to break this record. I mean, their defense is probably not even better than last year. And so he's going to be passing just the same way he did last year and maybe more. So I really think he has a good shot at breaking this record. In fact, he could be the next player into the 5,000 yards or more club in a single season. It's only happened 15 times in the entire NFL history. So I think Burrow has a chance to jump that high. The last person who hit the 5,000 yard mark was Patrick Mahomes in 2022. So I think Joe Burrow has a good shot this year to break his own record. Next up, Cleveland Browns. This is another one. It was a little bit difficult to find somebody. Jerry Jeudy, team most receptions in a season, which he set again last year. Jerry Jeudy, as a wide receiver, had 90 receptions in 2024. He broke the record that was held by Ozzie Newsome twice. He did it twice, and Kellen Winslow, all tight ends. He broke their record. I give him a 40% chance on this record. Judy's clearly the number one wide receiver. So that's number one in his favor. The second in his favor is Flacco as quarterback. If Joe Flacco can stay the quarterback for any length of time, it really boosts Judy's chances of breaking his own record. All right. Next up, Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott breaking the team most passing yards in a career. Right now, Tony Romo has 34,183 yards, which he set from 2004 to 2016, followed by Troy Aikman at 32,942 from 1989 to 2000. And now you have Dak Prescott with 31,437 yards. He's been quarterback since 2016. He only needs 2,747 yards to pass Romo. So I give him a 90% chance to break this record. Probably I should even put it higher, but I'll put it at 90. They really don't have a running game. In fact, I am going to change that. Chance of him breaking this record is 100%. They really don't have a running game, as I said. And now, instead of just having CeeDee Lamb, he's also got Pickens to help him out in the passing game, and I think this only enhances the passing game. It really is gonna help out Lamb. It's gonna give Prescott 2 good options down the field. All right, next up, Denver Broncos. Bo Nix will break the team most rushing yards by a quarterback in a season. Currently, number 1, Tim Tebow has 660 yards, which he set in 2011. Last season, Bo Nix is already second with 430 yards in 2024. Now, the interesting about this, I actually expected to see John Elway somewhere in here, but he wasn't. His best season was 304 yards in 1987. But anyway, Bo Nix, good chance. I mean, they kind of reined him in and started letting him loose a little bit more and more as the season went. I think a second year around, you might see some more designed runs for him. So I give him a good shot. Well, not a really good shot. I'm only going to give him a 25% chance because he's going to have to increase his rushing output by about 35% to pass Tim Tebow. So I'll give him a 25% chance to break this record. Next up, Detroit Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to break the team most rushing TDs in a season. Currently, Jamal Williams in 2022 had 17. Now, last year, Jahmyr Gibbs tied Barry Sanders with 16 touchdowns rushing. Barry Sanders did it in 1991. So Barry Sanders had held this record for 31 years before Jamal Williams broke it. So I give Jahmyr Gibbs a 50% chance to break this record. Basing that on some of the talk you've been hearing, if you listen to any other podcasts, watch anything, there's a lot of talk that this Gibbs Montgomery combination of running backs is going to favor Gibbs even more this year than it has in the past. And if that's the case, it really is going to boost Gibbs' opportunity to have more than 17 touchdowns. Next up, Green Bay Packers. Matthew Golden. This is another team, by the way, that I had to really hunt for something. And this is going to be difficult. Matthew Golden, team most receiving yards by a rookie in a season. Right now, it's held by Billy Houghton in 1952, 1,231 yards. 1952. It's been around for 63 years. James Lofton is second. In 1978, he had 818, which shows you how big a lead Billy Houghton has. Jaden Reed is third with 793, which he did in 2023. Now, the problem here for Matthew Golden is that last season, if you look, the team just spread the ball around a myriad of wide receivers. No one had more than 857 yards, and that was Reed. But Golden was the first round pick, which was the last time the Green Bay Packers picked the wide receiver in the first round was in 2002. Not that that turned out to be anybody spectacular in Javon Walker. He ended up with less than 2,500 career yards. But still, Matthew Golden's been looking good, but I'm only going to give him a 10% chance to get 1,231 yards. Is going to be quite a challenge for a wide receiver on Green Bay. Next up, Houston Texans. Nico Collins, the team most yards receiving in a single season. Currently, Andre Johnson has 1,598 in 2013. Now, Nico Collins' best season was in 2023, and he's number 7 with his total of 1,297. So he needs a 19% increase to catch Andre Johnson. Now, even in 2023, when Nico Collins had almost 1,300 yards, he only started 10 games. So if he can just stay healthy an entire season, I think he has a definite shot to break this record. He averages more yards per reception than Andre Johnson does, and the Houston Texans rushing game has been disintegrating. They've had more injury problems and so forth. So there's a shot for Nico Collins here. Give him a 35% chance to break this record. Next up, Indianapolis Colts. Jonathan Taylor will set the team most TDs rushing in a career. Currently held by Edgerrin James, who had 64 rushing TDs from 1999 to 2005. Lenny Moore is second with 63 from 1956 to 1967. And then Jonathan Taylor is third with 51 from 2020 to 2024. Now, I only give him a 25% chance to break this record, but because he needs 14 to break the record. Now, in 2021, Jonathan Taylor did have 18 TDs, so this is not out of the realm of possibility. I also give him a greater chance if Daniel Jones is the quarterback rather than Anthony Richardson. Because if Anthony Richardson's the quarterback, I can see him running in some of those and not Jonathan Taylor. So that would really hurt his chances. Next up, Jacksonville Jaguars, another team where I had a little bit of difficulty. Trevor Lawrence will break the team's most passing yards in a season, currently held by Blake Bortles with 4,428 in 2015. Mark Brunell's second with 4,367 in 1996. And Trevor Lawrence did have a 4,000-yard season in 2022 when he had 4,113 yards. I give him a 60% chance, a little over half here, 60% chance to break this record. New coach, Liam Cohen. Some might call him a quarterback whisperer. He's an offensive genius, hopefully. He turned around Mayfield's career. And also, Trevor Lawrence has never had a receiving core like this, and most teams don't. When you have three speedsters in Thomas, Hunter, and Brown, they're all so fast. And then you have a really good tight end in Strange. It just gives him a lot of options, and then he's not even counting people out of the backfield. So I give Trevor Lawrence a 60% chance to break this record. Kansas City Chiefs. Chris Jones will break the team's most tackles for loss in a career. This is the first defensive player we'll look at. We'll look at several more. Number one currently is Tamba Hall with 105 from 2006 to 2015. Second, Derek Johnson with 103 from 2005 to 2017. Justin Houston, 96 from 2011 to 2018. And Chris Jones, 87 since 2016. He's been with a team. Now, here's a team where I had a very hard time finding somebody that was near enough to a record to break it. This was the best I could find, and this isn't that great. He needs 18 to tie 19 to pass Tamba Hall. That's going to be a little bit difficult, but I will say that Chris Jones in 2018 did have 19 tackles for loss, and in 2022 he had 17. So he's somewhere in the ballpark. But since it's toward the end of his career, I'm only going to give him a 3% chance. This is probably one of my lowest chance rates, and probably is. But it's the best I could do this year for the Kansas City Chiefs. Next up, Las Vegas Raiders. Ashton Jeanty will break the team's most rushing yards by a rookie in a season. Currently, Josh Jacobs holds the record with 1,150, which he set in 2019. Previously to that, the record had been held by Marcus Allen with 697 yards in 1982. Took 37 yards for a rookie to break the 697 mark. Now, I give Ashton Jeanty a 90% chance to go over 1,150 yards in his first year with the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, the Raiders are gearing up to run the ball. Terrible running game last year, but they're looking to run it this year. Jeanty's coming out of college as number one running back. He had a tremendous college career, a lot of hype. I think he can do it. Next up, Los Angeles Chargers. Keenan Allen will break the team most receptions for a career for the Los Angeles Chargers. Currently, it's a tight end with Antonio Gates with 955 from 2003 to 2018. And second is Keenan Allen with currently at 904 from 2013 to 2023. Last year he played for the Chicago Bears. Now he's back with the Chargers. So all he needs is 42 receptions. 52. Let me put it that way. 52. I think that's a possibility. Right now it looks like he's going to be the second wide receiver behind Ladd McConkey. He needs 52 every season except one when he only played in one game, which was in 2016. Every season other than that, he's had at least 66 receptions. So I give him a 75% chance to break Antonio Gates' record. Next up, Los Angeles Rams. Kyron Williams will break the team's most rushing TDs in a season. It's currently held by Eric Dickerson and Marshall Falk. Both had 18, one in 1983, one in 2000. Here's another team where I had a little bit of difficulty finding somebody or a record that I thought could be broken. Now, Kyron Williams is sixth on this list with 14, which was last year. 2024, he had 14 rushing TDs. So the Rams have a good shot. I'm only giving him a 10% chance, so not a good shot actually. But really, he just got a new contract, big contract for him, and there's really no other running back challenger. So if they're near the line enough, or he can bust off a few, I give him a 10% chance to break the record held by Dickerson and Falk. Next up, Miami Dolphins. Devon Achane will break the team's most receptions by a running back in a season. Currently, he holds the record, which he set last year was 78. Prior to that, it was all the way back to 1993. It took 31 years for Devon to break this record. Terry Kirby held it with 75. Now, if last season Tua did not play the entire season, but if he plays the entire season, I think that's really going to help Devon. I think they'll be playing from behind a lot. I give Devon an 80% chance to break this record. And in fact, I think he could even get to 100 receptions this season. So I give him a good shot. Next up, Minnesota Vikings will break the record of team most receptions in a season, which he happens to hold. Justin Jefferson had 128 receptions in 2022. Chris Carter's second. He did it twice. He had 122 in 1994 and 1995. I give Jefferson a 50% chance to break this record. I guess I've heard this and I agree. Justin Jefferson's a quarterback proof in a way. It doesn't really matter who the quarterback is. He's going to produce. And I do think that J.J. McCarthy is going to be a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Prior to last season with Minnesota, Sam Darnold had not been spectacular. And he had a really good year last year. So I think J.J. McCarthy, 1 year under his belt, watching how the team was playing, learning the playbook and so forth, he should have a good shot at this. Justin Jefferson should. Throw in the fact that Jordan Addison is going to be out the first 3 weeks. I give him a 50% shot at this record. New England Patriots. Drake May will break the team most rushing yards by a quarterback in a season. Cam Newton holds the record right now with 592 in 2020. Prior to that, it was Steve Grogan who had 539 in 1978. So it took 42 years before Cam Newton broke the record. Now, last season, Drake May had 421 yards. He didn't even play the entire season. So, he was not the starting quarterback right off the bat. He only started 12 games. So you throw in another 5 games, he has a shot at this record. I give him a 65% chance to break this record. He's got some slight improvement in receivers, but they're not that great. And maybe some designed runs again for him will help him break this record. New Orleans Saints is next up. Cameron Jordan will break the team most sacks in a career. Currently, Ricky Jackson has 123 from 1981 to 1993. Cameron Jordan has 121.5 from 2011 to this year. I give him an 80% chance. I mean, last year he had 4 sacks, and I know he's getting up there. He's going into his 15th year. He only needs 2 sacks to break the record. And like I said, he had 4 last year. So he doesn't even get, he only needs half of last year's numbers, and he has a shot to break this record. Next up, New York Giants. Malik Neighbors will break the team most receptions in a season, which he happens to hold. But it's only 109, which he set in his first year as a rookie. Steve Smith was second with 107 in 2009. I give Malik Neighbors a 75% chance to break this record. He's really the only star on the team. He's the only really highly regarded, legitimate wide receiver. So I think he has a good shot. He has a better quarterback than he had last year. I mean, whether it's Wilson, Winston, or Dart, I think they're all better quarterbacks who will be throwing to Malik Neighbors than last year's Daniel Jones. So I give him a 75% chance to break that record. New York Jets is up next. Justin Fields will break the team's most rushing yards by a quarterback in a season. This is the only one where I have two records that could be broken. The record is held by Al Duro with 453 yards in 1960. That's how long this record's been around, going on 65 years. Geno Smith had 366 in 2013. I give Justin Fields a 95% chance to break this record. Even using the lowest yards per game that he's ever had in his season, Justin Fields would still have almost 500 yards rushing. But in 2022, he had over 1,100 yards in only 15 games. So I give him a 95% chance to break that record. Now, the reason I have two here is because I also have, even though this is Justin Fields' first year with the New York Jets, I have him also breaking the team's most rushing yards in a career. Richard Todd has 821 yards rushing in his career with the New York Jets from 1976 to 1983, and Al Duro has 772 from 1960 to 1961. Now, this record, I only give him a 50% chance to break. But as I said, he had over 1,100 yards in 2022 alone. So this is possible for him not only to set the season record, but the career record all in one shot. Next up, Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts will break the team's most rushing TDs in a career. And this is not by a quarterback. I'm talking about rushing TDs, period, whether you're running back, quarterback, whatever. Right now, Steve Van Buren has 69 from 1944 to 1951. So again, here's another record that's been around for 74 years. Jalen Hurts has 55. He's been with the team since 2020. I give him a 50% chance to break this record. He needs 14 to tie, 15 to break the record. He had last year 14. So I give him a shot to break this record, 50-50 shot to break the record. Next up, Pittsburgh Steelers. TJ Watt will break the team's tackles for loss record for a career. This is a kind of an interesting one. Cameron Hayward, who's also on the team, still playing, has 133. TJ Watt has 126, so he's 7 behind. Now, last season, Hayward had 12 tackles for loss, and Watt had 19, a 7 tackles for loss differential. If you put that right up to this, the same totals of tackles for losses for the next season, Watt would tie Cameron Hayward for the most ever for the team. But I think that as Cameron Hayward's getting older, TJ Watt, new contract, I think he'll actually pass him. It may not be much, 1 or 2, but I think TJ Watt will vault to number 1. 60% chance that he does that. Next up, San Francisco 49ers. Wow, that's a shot in the past. Nick Bosa is what I was going to say. Nick Bosa is going to break the team's tackle for loss career record. This is a lot fewer than what TJ Watt's shooting for. But currently, Bryant Young has 93 from 1994 to 2007. Nick Bosa has 87. He's been with the team since 2019. So I give him a 95% shot to break this record. He only needs 7 to break the record. And except for 2020, when Bosa only played in 2 games, he's never had less than 15 tackles for a loss in a season. So this is pretty much a definite chance that he'll break this record. Next up, Seattle Seahawks. Jackson Smith Njigba. He's going to break the team's most receptions in a season, which I'm surprised by this number, by the way. He tied the record last year. Tyler Lockett and Jackson Smith Uh, both had 100. Lockett did it in 2020. Jackson Smith Najigba in 2024, just last season. I give him a 75% shot to break this record because there's really no other top receivers. Now, that is unless Cooper Kupp has some kind of resurgence. I mean, in some ways, I'm hoping he does, but right now, he just doesn't look like he has the same juice that he had in the past. So we'll see how that goes. But right now, Jackson's going to be the top guy. So I definitely think he has a shot to break the record. Next up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucky Irving will break the team's most TDs rushing in a season. Now, this one's a little harder. Again, I had to find something. James Wilder currently holds the record with 13, which he set way back in 1984, so 40 years ago. Bucky Irving, in 2024, he had 8 in his rookie season, which puts him at 8th on the list. Now, he should get even more playing time this year. The problem with this is a 38% increase over what he did in 2024 to break this record, so that's quite a bit. But last season, he was a rookie, and he only started in 3 games, but he had such a tremendous year as he went on along. Started racking up a few more touchdowns in the second half than he did in the first half. So, I only put this chance at breaking this record at 40% because it is quite a bit of a leap, but we'll see. Next up, Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward will break the team's most passing TDs rookie record in a season. Cam Newton in 2011 as a rookie threw 21 touchdowns. The next best is Kerry Collins in 1995, who threw 14. So 21 is definitely not that difficult. When you look at last season, 14 quarterbacks in 2024 threw for 21 or more touchdowns. So basically, almost half of the league did. Now, Ward is the number 1 pick in the 2025 draft. He's much improved over their last quarterbacks. And I do think that the Titans are going to have to pass a lot because they're going to be behind in a lot of games. So I think he can set this record. I think he can go over 21 touchdowns, but I give him only a 45% chance, not quite 50-50. And the last team, Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels will break the team's most rushing yards by a quarterback in a career. Again, this was a difficult one to find something, and it'd be amazing if he does it because this is only his second year. But Joe Theismann, believe it or not, had 1,815 yards from 1974 to 1985. Robert Griffin III, who was more of a scrambler, had 1,480 from 2012 to 2014. Now, Jaden Daniels in his rookie season had 851. So he does need almost 1,000 yards, but there have been quarterbacks that have rushed for 1,000 yards. We already talked about one in Justin Fields. Lamar Jackson's another. So it is a possibility. Now, if McLaren doesn't start right away and doesn't play right away, I think Daniel's chances go up. I think he'll be scrambling around more and he'll be running more. The running game is not the best either. So I think that also gives him another shot at running a little bit better. Maybe more designed runs as well, being that this is his second year, a little bit more of a command of the offense. But I'm only going to give him a 15% chance that he breaks this record because that is quite a leap to hit the 1,000-yard mark. But we'll see. So that's my take on every team. So what we'll do after the season, we'll come back to this and see how many of these actually happened and how many didn't. So my next podcast will be back to the NFC South division where we'll wrap up with the New Orleans Saints. Take a look at the entire division at that time and see who's going to finish first and who's going to end up in the basement. So stick around for that as I continue wrapping up the entire NFL before the beginning of the season. You can check out my previous podcasts on YouTube at Just the Stats NFL. And please like and subscribe. That's always helpful. And until next time, this is a wrap for this episode of Just the Stats NFL. So until next time, I'm out.